Hello, good evening, and welcome to Final Boss Fight. My name is Jeff, and tonight we are continuing our journey into the horror on the Orient Express. I am joined by a full crew tonight. We have Brian Croy Dragon.
Okay, I'm not doing that this week. Hello.
We have Dark Lord Richard.
Hello.
One Winged Angel.
Hiya.
Sarah J.
Hi.
And Steam 2.
Hello.
And I'll give the recap for this week. So, last time, the investigators, Edward Beatty, Major Mercy, Maya Havdat, Nancy Sutherland, and Roland Billio, boarded the train at London Victoria on the first stage of their journey to Paris. Along the way, Edward found that he still had the scrap of parchment-like stuff with the words, "The skinless one will not be denied," written on it. And on the 2-hour train ride to Dover, you decided to investigate the 1893 diary you had found in the burnt-out remains of Professor Smith's home. The diary told the story of a much younger Professor Smith, calling in 4 of his trusted associates, Captain Barrington, Professor Harold Worth, George Banks, and Amelia Meadowcroft, for a rather downtrodden, dingy part of London in Whitechapel, where they found, in a bedsit, they found a withered man lying on the bed in some pain, some agony, who was identified by Professor Smith as Matthew Pook, 22 years old, student of his old colleague Professor Demir in Constantinople. Also present was Dr. Hobbs, who was examining the person, and you found that he was wearing a dark red fez. It struck you as somewhat strange. A couple of you tried to remove the fez, only to find that it was actually growing into his skin, and it was causing weird, funny sensations, whispers and voices. After examining the body and the fez, Matthew Pook died. He gave a shriek, a shudder, violent convulsion, and died. And as Dr. Hobbs leant over to examine the body, the fez fell off and the lights went out. And next thing you heard was screaming as the body rose up as some sort of undead abomination. Its head was stretched back, its teeth long, elongated, tongue massively lengthened, and as it mauled poor Dr. Hobbs to death, you acted quickly, and between Amelia Meadowcroft, George Banks, and Captain Barrington, you made short work of the creature, with Captain Barrington blowing its head off at short range with a shotgun. Afterwards, Professor Smith took custody of the fez and told you that he would have to contact his friend Professor Demir to find out what the best course of action was, and asked you to meet him the next morning at the Oriental Club. The next morning you met Professor Smith, who told you that between him and Professor Demir and one Baron von Hoffler, a noted occultist and ally of Professor Smith, you've been requested to deliver the fez to Professor Demir at Constantinople, and the best way to travel was on the Orient Express. Your tickets have been booked for you for the following Wednesday, 2 days away. And in the meantime, Professor Smith encouraged you to do some research. So the party split into 2, with Professor Worth and Captain Barrington returning to the Oriental Club to do some research in the library there, while Amelia Meadowcroft, George Banks accompanied Professor Smith as he went to Matthew Pook's lodgings, looking for details of next of kin. Professor Worth and Captain Barrington did their research, did some digging, and found some ancient Persian manuscripts, articles, shreds of literature detailing the evil power of the fez, and how, and also referencing a book called The Whispering Fez, which promised to have more information. And they also discovered a ritual or a mantra, which, if used, could have the potential to delay the degenerative effects for the fez for 24 hours. Somewhat shaken by the discovery, they left the library, but not before overhearing gossip about a fez collector who had been murdered in Rotherhithe a few days previously. In the meantime, George Banks and Amelia Meadowcroft and Professor Smith went to Matthew Pook's lodgings, only to find that someone had broken in before them. This man was some sort of thuggish man wearing a flat cap who identified himself as Bentley Burnham from the Birmingham Daily Post. While Professor Smith and Amelia Meadowcroft were questioning him as to what he was doing there, why had he taken anything, George Banks did some searching of his own and found the journal of Matthew Pook, in which Matthew Pook wanted to impress Professor Demir by capturing the Fez himself from its owner, a man named Mencalf, who by all accounts was an evil man, an evil cultist, and leader of a brotherhood based in Constantinople. After you all met together in the evening, you shared your findings and decided the next day to visit the house of the Fez collector, the murdered Fez collector in Rotherhithe. Once you arrived there, you found the place had been ransacked. There were fezzes all over the floor. There were books all over the floor. You found a ledger entry in which the Fez collector had received a book called The Whispering Fez sometime previously, and a letter from a Mr. Leeds from Constantinople offering to buy the book. You didn't find any trace of the book at the house, and you deduced that this was the book that the thieves, the burglars, were looking for, and they seem to have found it. You decided to spend the rest of the day making preparations for your journey, and the next day at 10 o'clock in the morning, you left London behind on the train to Dover. And that is where we pick up as the investigators in 1923, Major Mercy, Edward Beatty, Nancy Sutherland, Roland Billio, and how I have that board the steamer to take them across the channel to Calais. You continue reading in the diary, and there's a note in the diary when the investigators, the 1893 investigators, arrived in Calais. They met up with their old colleague, Dr. Cassim Polat. And Dr. Polat, you had been in Paris at a conference on Ottoman history, and you had planned to spend some days in Paris before returning to Constantinople to be back with your wife and children. Only you received a telegram from Professor Smith asking you to meet the others at Calais. So you have done so, and now you are joining them as they board the train to a place called Chalons-sur-Maine, where you are due to meet the Orient Express. You arrive at Chalons-sur-Maine at 10 o'clock in the evening. The Orient Express is due to arrive there at 10:26. And I've got a picture of it, actually. We're going to start with a picture this evening. Station at Chalons-sur-Maine. Low platforms, waiting for the Orient Express to arrive. You see some of the people waiting on different platforms, but on the platform where you're waiting for the train, you see one other person there. It seems to be a young lady with flaming red hair. She's like waiting, and she's waiting patiently for the train to arrive as well. So you have about 20 minutes. Do you wish to do anything while you're waiting for the train?
This is our 1920s cells, isn't it?
This is now your 1893 investigators.
1893, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, thank you.
All right. Okay.
So
yeah,
from now on, this is the 1893 team.
Okay.
Okay.
Means I need to go over.
Well, as I'm sure it would be inappropriate for any men to approach an unaccompanied young woman, Amelia will go over to this red-haired woman and introduce herself.
It's not usual to see other people on this platform. I'm usually waiting here by myself. Annie McGregor, it's nice to meet you.
Annie McGregor.
Eileen McGregor.
Eileen.
Yes, son. It's the accent, isn't it? Sometimes it throws people off. Sometimes I can hold a Scottish accent. I promise you.
Yeah, but it is Scottish because I'm terrible with accents, and I couldn't decide whether it was Irish or Scottish. But that's just me. Amelia would know.
Yeah.
Another person from the British Isles. Are you here for the Orient Express?
What gave it away? Are you yourselves? Is this your first time on the train?
It is mine. I can't speak for my companions.
I'm going to assume it's the same for everybody else, to be honest. Oh, well, yeah, in for an interesting journey. This is my sixth time on the train. I do a lot of workouts in the Middle East. And she hands
brilliant.
She hands you her card. Yeah, she hands you her card. It's Eileen McGregor. She's a reporter for the Woman's Herald, and she says to you, I got a lot of interest in the Ottoman Empire and the work out there, what people call the Armenian question. Are you familiar with it yourself?
I am, yes. It's a tricky situation, but I can't imagine the Ottoman Empire surviving that much longer, to be honest.
And if your companions are within earshot, Dr. Polatz, your ears would prick up at this, because this is exactly your area of expertise. Turkish history, Ottoman Empire, past, present, and future. This is you could talk about this for a long time. Oh, and Eileen carries on. Oh well, I hope to get to know you better over the few days we'll be on the train. I'm sure we'll get along just fine.
One would hope so, yes. Would you care to join our group, and where we can all wait together?
That would be fantastic. Thank you. That'd be very good. Thank you very much. And she does go back with you to the rest.
And I'll introduce her to the group, Eileen McGregor, and I'll go through everyone's name.
And when you introduce her to Dr. Polat, she says, "Oh, you're from Turkey yourself, then?"
Sorry, was that?
Yeah, that's to Dr. Yeah, Dr. Polat is from Turkey. So, oh, you're from Turkey yourself, then? The name said that to me. Well, I hope to make your acquaintance better as well while we're on our journey. I'm sure we have much to discuss.
Yes, I have some interesting tales to tell.
I look forward to speaking to you. And as you're talking, at precisely 26 minutes past 10, the Orient Express rolls into the platform, and it's you can see the train, the steamer, locomotive of the train belching out smoke as it rumbles in. You see the coaches, like dark red wood, the sigil of the company Wagon Lee emblazoned on them. Obviously, the train comes to a halt. Door on one of the sleeping cars opens, and you see a man descend. He's wearing blue uniform, blue cap, gold trim, gold buttons. He's holding a clipboard, and he looks at you and says, "Ah, mesdames, messieurs, meine Damen und Herren, signore, signore, ladies and gentlemen, Henri is here. And on behalf of the company de Wagonlier de Grano Express Européenne, it is my pleasure to bid you bienvenue, willkommen, benvenuto, welcome aboard the Orient Express. My name is Henri Peters, and over the next 3 days, it will be my pleasure to see to any need or desire you have. If you require anything at all, just look for me. Henri will be here." And as he says that, Eileen says, "Ach, Henri, you know me by now. We've been through this every single time." And Henri says, "Ah, Miss McGregor, such a pleasure to see you again. Your usual berth in number 7 is ready for you. I'm sure you know the way by now." Eileen McGregor takes a case on board, nods to you, and she takes a case on board, and you are left with Henri Peters on the platform. Now then, mesdames, messieurs, may I see your tickets and passports, please?
I'm assuming we all have our own individual tickets.
Yes, you'll have all individual tickets, all individual passports, and he notes them down on his. Of course, Monsieur Barrington, Monsieur Worth, you will be in berths 1 and 2 in compartment 1. Monsieur Banks, Monsieur Polat, you'll be berths 3 and 4 in compartment 2, and Mademoiselle Meadowcroft, you have berth number 5 in compartment 3.
Oh.
The dining car is closed. Will reopen for breakfast at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. However, the salon car is open if you require a nightcap before bedtime. We will leave in 10 minutes. Please make yourselves at home. And remember, Henri is here.
Pleasure to meet you, Henri.
I'll move you. This round. So I'll put you in there, in the... Right, so just what we said. Oh, that's just there. Where's it there? Harrington is that one. And that one. So as you enter your cabins, they've been made up already for sleeping. It's essentially a bunk bed, one bed on top of another. As you settle in, 10 minutes after its arrival, precisely 10:36 p.m., the Orient Express begins, and you hear a whistle, you hear an output of steam as the Orient Express begins its journey. Do you wish to bed down for the night, or do you wish to visit the salon? Get a nightcap in.
The salon, certainly, for Amelia.
Same for
same.
Harry.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much. But it's probably been a long day at this point, anyway.
Yeah.
Is it gonna go to sleep?
George is going to sleep. George, you're staying in your room. That's fine. Everybody's there. Very well. So we'll focus on in the salon at the moment. So as you enter the salon, I've got a picture of this as well. These are all actual images from the Compagnie des Wagons, one of the Compagnie des Wagons archive sites. You can see from the logo in the corner.
Looks very posh.
So as you enter the salon, immediately as you walk in, you see a rather imposing figure wearing what looks like a uniform, festooned with medals and ribbons all down his front. It's not a British uniform. And he is in conversation with a younger man. We're not wearing a uniform, wearing a suit, finely tailored suit, a moustache, goatee, and standing near them, standing upright, is a bald man. And as you enter the salon, the man in the uniform, rather imperious man in the uniform, holds out his glass to the man standing up, and the man standing up takes his glass, walks over to the bar, and gets it filled up with more wine. Sitting near the bar, near where you came in, you see the familiar face of Arnie McGregor, and as soon as she sees you, he waves you over. Come join me. I could do with the company.
Barrington's going to walk over.
Yep.
What can I get you, Miss McGregor?
Scotch for me, please. And you see she's already had a couple of glasses already. Scotch would be...
Nod to the barman.
Could you all make me education rolls, please? As you look at this man with the uniform and the medals. Hard success, very good. Failure for that.
I was looking at the wrong bloody. I was looking at the lower skill. This is the big one, isn't it?
Yep. And who's missing? That's everybody. Okay, so those of you who got a success, you've seen this man before. See him in the papers. The two of you who have a hard success recognize him. This is the Russian Count Razumovsky, Count Rudolf Razumovsky. And you know he is a Russian noble, and you know he is married to a wife who is half his age. You've seen pictures in the society papers. Countess Irina Razumovsky, you don't see her here. and you assume that he is with a travelling companion and his butler.
So we assume, we don't see them.
You don't see you see the butler. The butler's the man standing up.
Okay. Yeah.
The travelling companion here. This is the count, but you don't see his wife here.
There is another person with him. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, there's 3 people here. Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
No, carry on.
Well, I was just going to say, in the brief sojourn we had in our rooms, Amelia has changed and is essentially wearing like men's formal dress because she doesn't wear her dresses on adventures. It's impractical, but it's still posh and like being formal. And she will ask for some champagne, and for them to bring like a bottle.
Okay.
And,
Maya's going to chip in at this point and just kind of say, yeah, makes sense. The clothing.
So you're walking up to the bar, is what you're saying?
I mean, I expect on the Orient Express people come to me. That there is some manner of person who comes over.
Okay.
Is that not the case?
This is late. Most of the staff are away for the night. So there is a bartender at the bar. But
well, I shall go to the bar and make my disappointment and all that. But after Henri, there's going to, there's going to be a lot of constructive criticism.
Okay. Get the comment cards out.
Yeah.
As you approach the bar, could you make me a spot hidden, please?
What?
Would you like to change that?
Yeah, I'll use some luck. If I'm assuming I must have 10 luck.
One would assume you have 10 luck.
Yes, I do. I've got 52.
Okay. Would you like to use your luck to make that into a success?
I would, yes.
As you approach the bar, you see some more people at the far end of the car. See a rather imposing brute of a man stood near one of the doors. You see a man sitting, and he's facial hair. He has the bushy moustache that marks him out as Middle Eastern, sipping tea from a fine cup on his table. And opposite him, you see him talking to somebody, and you see that this person he's talking to is wearing a very familiar flat cap.
Oh, it's that northern journalist, isn't it? From Birmingham. With the Charles Dickens style name. Bentley Bertham or something, was it?
Bentley Burnham, yes, it is Bentley Burnham.
Bentley Burnham. Yeah. Don't like the look of that. But do I have my champagne already, or have I not put the order in yet? Or
as you were looking over, he would have given you the champagne quite quickly.
Because if I've got a drink in my hand, I'm not working. This is my relaxing time. But I shall file it away and tell the group.
Okay. Can you all make me listen rolls, actually? All make me listen roll. Wow.
Where'd you find it?
Listen is second column, I believe.
There we go.
And so you're all, the three of you, Captain Barrington, Professor Worth, and Dr. Polat, the steam and the sound of the train is making conversation somewhat difficult, but Amelia, as you're getting near with your champagne, you overhear what they're saying very well. You see the Turkish man, pass an envelope to Bentley Burnham, and you hear Bentley Burnham saying in response, Right you are, Mr. Mencalf, sir. Much obliged. If ever you need my services again, you know where to find me. And with that, he stands up and he walks down the corridor. As he passes you, he either doesn't recognise you, doesn't see you, or pretends not to know you.
That would look very different.
Yeah.
Now, Mencalf was the fellow with the hat shop, or with the collection of feathers.
Mencalf was the one you had been told about, the dangerous man who had put the fez on Matthew Pook's head and made him into that monster.
Oh, I will make an exception this once for my not working when I'm got a drink in my hand, and I will immediately tell the rest of the group that's Mencalf.
Barrington's going to kind of just casually look and glance over to make a note of who it is. And he's going to say, Miss Meadowcraft, are you absolutely sure it is?
I'm sure someone addressed him as Mencalf, but you know, it could be a very common name. It could be Smith. I don't know.
Very true. Very true.
As you're looking over at him, the man who was identified as Mencalf, he like catches your eye and just like nods and just like raises his cup in acknowledging you, and like sips it and just like starts looking out the window. Leans back in his.
I do the same in return. And I just kind of say, under my breath, he's noticed us.
But do you think he knows who we are? I didn't. Why we're here?
I don't know. Just so everyone is aware, he has spotted us. He kind of raised his drink and nodded at me. I think we just proceed cautiously.
Eileen has seen you like looking over at him and says, "You know that man over there?"
By reputation alone.
He's someone I've not seen before. It's strange. I would have said he's Turkish, but from his face, from his moustache, he has the bushy moustache that's common with Turks. But his skin tone looks British to me.
Sorry.
And the piano starts playing in the background.
Sorry, that's my phone case turning on.
At about 11, quarter past 11, as the evening goes on, you see the younger Russian gentleman. He stands up, he bows to the Count, and he makes his own way out of the cart, out of the carriage, making his way past you. And as he does so, Eileen says, "I bet you there's a juicy story there." Count 50-year-old Count on with his 25-year-old wife and a much younger man. Oh, I bet you there's a scandal there.
Yeah, perfectly reasonable that whoever the younger man is might be the sort of cover-up. Or the other way around, I suppose, the older. The older's cover-up for the affair.
He either knows about it or he's a fool if he doesn't know about it. You mark my words, there'll be some drama on this trip before the end.
I mean, what do you know of the Count?
I know he's Russian. He's a Russian noble. He's, by what I've heard, he's somewhat paranoid. He sees Red Republicans and anarchists everywhere. He thinks they're out to get him. He never travels without at least 2 or 3 people in his party. My roommate is actually the maid of the Countess. And, she seems to be a capable woman able to look after herself. She did say that she wanted an early night, and when I came back, could I please not make any noise? So I'm planning to storm in there like a herd of angry elephants when I finished. That would teach her to be happy with me.
Has the Count earned all those medals and impressive military distinctions?
You can say earn them, buy them. Nobility, they do what they want, really, don't they?
Did any of the medals look official?
Make me a good skill for this. I don't want to just go into education again, but see what you have. Bear with a moment. Yeah, make me an education check. That's probably the best one, the most appropriate one for this. Recognize. Want to change that?
I'm going to use a bit of luck on that if I can.
You can, of course, yep. So 2 points to make that into a success, and
yeah.
It looks to be a mix. They're all very shiny. They're all very flashy. It's just like, you can see like light glaring off it, but you do possibly recognise a couple of them as official medals. Whether he has legitimately earned them or just bought them, it's hard to say. But they all give the impression that he's very ostentatious. He he loves the fact that he's got all this stuff on his chest.
Can't tell if they were bought or not, but certainly a few of them are official medals.
Well, I imagine it used to be very much this way in England, where you could simply buy a commission, and be an officer, and it's an official medal, but it doesn't mean it was earned through bravery or talent.
That is very true.
I'm going to go over to the Count with my glass of champagne and sit on the can I move
you can move.
counter?
You can move your character, yep.
And I'm going to look at him and I'm going to say, your boys took a hell of a beating in the Crimean War. And see how he responds to that.
He just starts blustering a bit. Cause, this is somewhat this person who just come down as being rude. He goes, how dare you? He's trying to bluster and what to say. I'm sure that ultimately we will be victorious. Yes, against the Reds, against the anarchists, against all those who oppose us.
You think? I've never been terribly impressed with the armed services of Russia. A lot of skilled soldiers, but the people at the top, I'm not convinced.
And the his butler here starts stand up a bit straighter, kind of gets ready just in case this turns into a confrontation. But the Count says, "No, Egorov, no. We are guests on this train. We cannot start an international incident. Madame, I must excuse myself. I'm in no fit state to carry on this conversation with you. I bid you good night, and I hope your manners will improve by tomorrow morning."
They will probably be worse. I will be hungover.
So they both leave as well. George, as you're in your cabin trying to get to sleep, how train is rocking. You can hear as it goes over the tracks. It's very 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 loud, very clanky. How are you sleeping very much, or are you just trying to get to sleep?
I'm just trying to get to sleep, tossing and turning.
George, can you make me a listen roll, please?
Oh, also, I'd like to go on record. The reason I chose to go to bed is because I briefly forgot how to do a Cockney accent.
I love it. Do you want to change that? Want to change that at all?
Sure.
1 point of luck. And
5.
Yep. So as you're lying in bed, you can hear people walking past your the door of your cabin. one person walks past. Then about 20 half an hour later, you hear two people walking past further down the cabin. Menkath is still sitting at his table, enjoying his tea, looking out the window. As the time gets towards midnight.
Sorry, you go on.
I was going to say, Barrington's going to kind of walk it over and say, "Oh, good evening, sir. Can I get you a drink?"
So do you want to move your character over to him?
Walkie with the top hat, I assume?
Yes, this guy over here. Oh, sorry, bloke with the top hat is Dr. Kasim Polat. That's your companion. No, it's this guy over here at the right-hand side.
I'm just going to zoom us out a little bit more.
This is actually a very large map. Very large size map. And he looks up at your approach and goes, "Oh, yes, welcome. Please sit down."
Yes.
And he continues looking out the window. He goes, "Romantic, is it not? No matter who you are, no matter what your lot in life, no matter what your station, the moment we board this train, we're all bound by the same destiny, by these rails and this box. Poetic, isn't it?"
Yes, it is indeed. And the scenery's nothing to sniff at either.
Oh, you must have better eyes than me. I cannot see a thing in this darkness outside.
Well, I assume it is. We'll see in the morning, I guess.
So what brings you aboard this magnificent rolling palace?
Oh, we are just... Me and my companions are just travelling, to see the world.
Yes, the world is a very, very wonderful place for those with the eyes to see it.
How about yourself?
I am here with one of my, I suppose you could say, patients. He was taken ill in Paris, and I am taking him and his wife to Constantinople, where I'm hopefully able to heal them or give them some form of rest.
Ooh, that's a long journey for a patient. Is it a really rare illness that needs them to go that far?
It is.
You not treated them in France?
It is not so much a physical illness. My area of expertise is more spiritual rather than the physical realm.
Spiritual illnesses, that's a new one. Could you tell me a bit more about this?
Even though I am not an official doctor, I am still bound by client confidentiality. It would not be fair to either him or his wife.
I was just meaning in the general terms, kind of like about your spiritual medical practices, what they involve.
Oh, it is balancing the energies within a person, trying to either raise the beneficial humours or lower the malicious humours. It is a traditional practice of my people.
Well, that sounds fascinating. Would Barrington know about things like acupuncture and stuff?
I think you've been out in that area. I think you'd be aware of it. I'm not going to make you up for that. You'd be aware of it. Yeah.
I kind of asked. So is it a similar sort of thing to acupuncture?
I suppose you could say that. Yes, maybe.
But just while this is going on, could Amelia return to her room and grab one of the fezzes she took from the Fez collection? Not the magic killer
not the
Fez.
Actual Fez, but
yes, just a Fez, and then return, and she's going to have a go on that harpsichord which I've spotted in the in the bar.
Okay, interesting. So
and she's wearing the Fez.
He comes back wearing the Fez, coming back playing the harpsichord. Anything in particular, or just plonking away at the keys?
She's going to attempt Amazing Grace, but
Okay.
that's nothing in her character. She can play the hopscotch.
1 moment, actually. I may have something. Just bear with me a moment. I know there are base skills all over the place. Roll me a D100, and here's... I think it's just 10. Acting. Interesting. I'm going to say acting because, like, would be a good one for this. So make me a D100 roll.
D100. How do I get it to roll just a D100?
Slash roll D100.
Slash roll D100. I think she might know piano, but you know, I'm sure that's transferable skills. I'm sure they got you the same.
I'm sure there are. Yeah. Just need to try and find the thing. But since you haven't got any official training in it, it's recognizable, but it's not like it's not Lang Lang, shall we say? It's not a grand performance of it, but it is like kind of recognizable. And Mencalf says to Barrington, "Canyon over there has certainly got away with that instrument."
Yes, it's an acquired taste. How's he reacted to the fact that she's wearing a fez?
Doesn't seem. Make me a psychology roll.
Oh no, as well, it is at a jaunty angle. It's not just
Oh, no.
just flat. It's at a jaunt, which is how a person wears a hat, in my opinion.
Don't seem to. You know, either spend luck on that, or you can try and push that if you want to, like, lean in a bit closer and like really have a look.
Yeah, I'll lean in a bit closer, kind of.
Okay, make the same roll.
Disguise it if I can.
Yeah, make the same roll, please. Very good. His eyes did flick over to her when she came in with a fez, but then he just like flicked back to you again.
Okay.
So he did notice that she was wearing a fez.
Yeah. I'm gonna kind of say it's very interesting headwear she's wearing, isn't it?
You must understand, I see such things all the time back in my country. Wearing a fez, while not common on Westerners, people do wear it as a fashion item, but mostly I see them every day in my city, Constantinople. I myself have quite a large collection.
Sorry?
I have quite a large collection of myself.
Oh, do you? Are they all the same colour, or you got many different colours? Could we see them one time?
Of course, if you ever you're in Constantinople, of course. I'll try and make arrangements for that.
Yes, that would be lovely.
And the big man near the door just like grunts, and Mencalf says, Kapok, my man here. Apparently our time is up and I must retire for the night. Sure we'll pass across again after all. Are we not bound by this same destiny, you and I, and your friends?
Certainly, until the train reaches its destination.
It would be said for us all, couldn't it? And he stands up and with his manservant leave the cabin, leave the car.
Mm-hmm.
And Eileen says, I must be going back to my cabin as well. I think my Russian roommates must be fast asleep by now. Perfect time. Good night.
Good night, Eileen.
He leaves as well.
Any requests for songs? Dr. Polat? Professor Worth?
The time is midnight now, also. And you have had a long day.
I request a music hall song to send me off to bed as I am leaving. Something awful.
I mean, I'll definitely play you out in music hall style.
Yeah.
Okay, so Harry Waters going back to. I'll put you back in your room. Anybody else?
Yeah, I'll retire for the night. I think it's best to get a fresh head for the journey.
Okay.
I will
stay listening to Amelia for a bit. Order her another drink and get another one for myself before heading to bed.
Okay.
It only comes in bottles. You can't get a glass. So it'd be another bottle. Which is not true at all. You can't absolutely get another.
He just rolls his eyes.
I'm going to fast forward a bit to probably like 1:30 and everybody's retired for the night. Okay. Could all of you please make me luck rolls? Everybody, George, Kasim, Amelia, Barrington, Worth, make me luck rolls.
Did mine roll there?
Is that, are we all doing luck rolls?
Everybody does a luck
Yes,
roll,
exactly.
please.
Oh, there's luck.
Well, I'm not doing bad with my rolls today.
Thanks.
Failure.
Are you on Sarah or do you want?
Mine just doesn't seem to be. There we go.
Cool. Dr. Kasim Polat, you're finding it difficult to sleep. You're not used to sleeping on trains. It's like constant rocking, constant motion, clattering of the rails. Until eventually the train, there's a cloud of steam and the train comes to a stop. And you look at your watch and the time is 3:43 in the morning and the train comes to a stop and for a few moments everything is quiet. Can you make me a listen roll, please? Oh dear, that's everything coming through now.
Wonderful.
Okay.
You can either spend luck on that, or you can push that. I feel like to spend, don't you? Or you can push it.
Yeah, I'll push it.
Okay.
Sorry,
Yeah, to put it. Yeah, re-roll it to push it.
Hang
To
on.
push it. Yeah, you re-roll it.
Yep. Hang on. There you go.
Brilliant. As you're lying there, trying to sleep, you hear like the light breathing of George Banks above you as he's fast asleep. You think you hear groaning coming from a bit further down. Not loud, but you wouldn't have heard if the train was moving, but because the train is stood still and there's like no noise of the movement, you can hear groaning coming from further down. Maybe one of the other compartments.
What time? This is early in the morning, isn't it?
It's 3:43 a.m. Yes.
And the train stopped.
Yeah.
Is anybody else sort of stirring on that, or is it just a case of nobody else has felt the train?
Everybody else is asleep. You're the only one awake. As far as you know. As far as you know.
I was going to say, I suppose I'll try calling out for someone and just call out and see if anybody's down there.
Call out and you basically like poking your. Are you poking your head out the door or out the window or something?
Yeah. I'll poke it out the window. See if I can look down. How far I can look down. Sort of
You can look down pretty much the entire length of the car. You think that's the direction? You think it might be coming from this direction, maybe?
Yeah.
but beyond that, you can't really be sure. After a couple of minutes, there's a knock on your door. It's your Polat.
I'll come back in.
It's your Polat. I heard you calling. Is everything okay? It's Henri, the conductor. Is everything okay? Is there anything you need? Henri is here.
Oh, I'm absolutely fine. I just heard a noise. Sounds like, well, moaning.
That would probably be Monsieur Myers. I don't know if you heard. He's not feeling very well, and we've been requested to respect his privacy.
Ah, is that right? Is his cabin that close?
He is a few doors down away from you.
Ah, then that must explain it.
Is there anything you require?
No, I'm okay. Thank you for checking on me.
Very, very good. I wish you good night. And as he closes the door, can you make me a spot hidden?
There we go.
Just as Henri closes the door, you can see like the gas lamps flickering. Just for a moment, you think you see an extra shadow on the wall behind Henri. You see his shadow. You see your shadow through the door. And you think you see another shadow. Then it's gone. And then the train 10 minutes after the train came to a stop, the train starts up again.
Just for a moment. Okay, so I can't. I'll just sort of shake it off as late night.
Yep, late night flickering lamps. Yep.
Early morning.
Yep. Those of you who train will stop one more time at 6:41 for another 10 minutes for the next stop. Would anybody be awake at 6:41?
Amelia certainly wouldn't.
Okay.
I'm assuming Barrington was up quite late with Amelia, so probably
yep.
sleeping a bit.
Yep.
What time is it?
6:41.
6:41.
Might be starting to stir.
Okay. You start to stir and the sunlight streams through your windows, and you're at a station. Professor Worth, can you make me a spot hidden, please? As you look out the window, see the sun look out the window, you see that you're at Stuttgart, and you see leaving the train Bentley Burnham. You see him leave the train. You see his familiar flat cap come down out of the sleeping car and walk away to the station entrance.
Okay.
And 10 minutes later, the train starts up again.
And I don't see him getting back on.
You don't see him get back on, no. You are.
There's not.
Sorry.
I was going to say there's not a lot for me to do. I just notice him.
You just notice him leave the train. Yes. There is a knock on each of your doors at 8:30, 8:30 the next morning, and it's Henri and says, "Messieurs, Mesdames, breakfast will be served at 9 a.m. in the dining car." And he carries on. Shall I move us to the dining car for breakfast?
Absolutely.
Yeah, as I've got sort of up and dressed, I've sort of said, "Oh, Barrington, old sport, that journalist fellow."
Oh yes,
I saw him getting off the train this morning.
That's worth noting. Shall let the others know as well, shall we?
We shall.
And goes to the. So as you enter the dining car, there are a number of people in here already. You recognise Count Razumovsky, and of course his companion. You recognise the butler, table nearby. You don't recognise the lady sitting opposite the butler. She looks to be in her mid-30s. She looks like very practical, very able to take care of herself. And sat opposite the Count, there's a beautiful young lady dressed in fine dress and jewellery. Further up the carriage, you see the familiar face of Eileen McGregor. And on a different table in the carriage, you see Mencalf from the previous evening. You see his manservant. And you see a young woman, almost a girl, can't be more than 20, sat next to him, in between him and the window. And she looks very, very, very miserable. Where would you like to sit?
I would certainly like to sit either on the same table as Eileen, or like I'll sit next to her if that's.
That is absolutely fine. Yep. You move your character there. And as you walk past Mencalf, see he is wearing a dark red fez.
I'm still wearing my fez. I have changed, but I'm still. I'll do my. When people lift that, I don't know if there's anything you do with a fez, but obviously in English, if you wear a hat, you'd like raise it a little, and I will just do a little.
He doesn't really
gesture.
look up at. He doesn't really look up at you, and as you walk past, you see it is identical to the fez you have in your hat box. Whoever has it in the hat box.
The killer fez.
Yes.
Yes. But yes, actually.
However, he doesn't seem to be affected by it.
I will ask Eileen if it's okay if I join her.
Oh, you don't even need to ask. Come, please join me.
Also need a liquor cabinet, which is helpful.
Why do you think I sat here? I always get this table. To be fair, that is the kitchen area, so you might not be allowed in there.
I mean, I'm not a servant. I don't go into the kitchen area. I don't even know if my home has a kitchen. I assume, but I've never actually been in.
Where are the rest of you?
Do you keep shoes in the oven?
Shoes in the oven. That's another term I've heard before.
Ask your wife. Ask your partner.
I shall do.
Where would the rest of you like to sit?
I would like to sit somewhere in the middle. Where am I? That's by the Count, isn't it? And
yeah,
so that I can try.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'll go there too.
And George Banks and Cassim Polat, where would you like to sit?
Right here.
Okay. And Cassim, where would you like to sit? I'll do here for now. As you take your seats, the waiters come around, saying, "Oh, Monsieur, Mesdames, welcome to the restaurant car. For le petit déjeuner, for the breakfast this morning, we have smoked salmon avec scrambled eggs. We have croissants, we have bread rolls, butter, marmalades, jams, all kind of spreads. Tea, cafe. What would you like to eat?"
I'll have a bit of everything, please.
Of course, madame.
And strong coffee.
Monsieur, of course, monsieur. Right, sit down on his pad. And for you, monsieur, to Miss Howard Worth.
I will have some strong tea and some toast, please.
Oui, d'accord.
Merci beaucoup.
Madame, Amelia, Madame?
I would like some coffee. Could I also get a measure of vodka, please?
It is early in the morning, Madame, but I'm sure we can arrange that.
I am having a traditional Norwegian drink. It would be very offensive if I am denied this because I am of Norwegian heritage. So that would be wonderful. It's you mix coffee and vodka and.
Not gonna. So he just rolls with it. And Eileen says, "Don't worry if he doesn't give it to you, you can have some of mine." And she shows you a bottle of scotch she's got hidden on the table.
Oh, I mean, this is a real drink. I'm not Norwegian, but it is a genuine drink. It does require vodka.
Comes to the table with Banks and Pollard. Monsieur, what would you like for breakfast? And George, this is like nothing you've ever seen before. In fact, I have a picture of this. Why am I not showing you? Dining. This is like kind of like the scene that you're in, and this is like nothing you've ever seen before. Like you're not used to this at all. So I was like, Monsieur, what would you like? What can I get you for breakfast?
Damn it! I forgot how to do it.
We'll take it as read, Governor.
Okay, just give me a moment. Hello. What's on listening?
Breakfast, Monsieur. And what can I get you?
I'll have some bacon and eggs.
We'll have to see if we have any bacon and eggs on board. I will see what we can do, Monsieur. For you, Monsieur, talking to Dr. Polat, what would you like for breakfast? The waiter will go off, and you will all get what you've asked for. George, it's bacon and eggs, but not quite as you recognise it. It's probably more like ham, pancetta ham. With the scrambled eggs. Other people, you get to what you've requested. Amelia, he does give you a small measure of vodka to go with your coffee.
So I get my coffee cup. I take a coin out of my purse. I drop it in the coffee cup. I pour on some coffee until I can no longer see the coin. And then I pour on the vodka until I can see the coin again, and then I'm happy. This is cask, a popular drink in Norway.
Eileen looks at you like, "Teach me how to do that. That looks like a very nice little trick there."
Oh well, I'm terrible. I'm very worried that if I stop drinking altogether, I may die. So it helps me carry on.
Captain Barrington and Professor Worth, you're sat near Mencaf and his party. Mm-hmm. From where you are, you see that he seems to be acting in a most unwelcome manner towards the young lady. Mm-hmm. You seem like leaning over her, like taking up room, and she's like trying to shrink back against the wall, mm-hmm. Looking like very, very, very upset.
Okay.
Yep. Go on. No, carry on.
Barrington's just kind of gonna look over and smile and wave, try and attract his attention.
And he looks around and he does catch your eye and he goes, "My friend, so nice to see you again. I told you I'd pass across again."
Yes, would you care to join us?
Thank you for the kind offer, but this poor lady here, her husband is my patient, and I don't like to leave her on her own.
Would you mind giving her a little bit more room? It looks like you're kind of crowding her in there. She looks a little bit uncomfortable.
Oh, I'm sure she is fine, but she does like shuffle a bit, not wanting to make a scene. And when it comes to about 9:30, as everybody's eating, 9:45, she gets up and like pushes past him and makes her way hastily down the corridor, out of the car, back to the sleeping cars. Amelia, you see this happen, and as you turn, you see Eileen is looking after her with some concern on her face.
Eileen's gone after, or just looking? Did you say? Sorry,
just looking with concern on her face, and she whispers to you, "That poor lass is in trouble. May have to. I wonder if we can try and talk to her, find out what's wrong."
Could you possibly distract the gentleman she was with? Some journalistic things, ask them questions. I believe that's what journalists do. I shall catch up to her.
Of course, that'd be my pleasure. So Eileen gets up, goes to Maincaf's chair, just like bullies him past the servant, sits down, and just like starts hitting him with a barrage of questions about Ottoman Empire, Armenian question, women's suffrage, everything she can think of. And I say poor Maincaf, he's just like he's like being hit by all these questions, but barely being given time to think. So I'm going to bring you back to the sleeping car. Ignore everything. Ignore where everybody else is. Everybody else is in the other car. I'm going to say you're You're about here, and the young lady is here. And you catch her just as she's about to go into her cabin.
Excuse me, madame?
Oh, I'm so sorry. I must have made a scene in there. I'm sorry to disturb your breakfast.
No, not at all, not at all. I was merely coming to check if you were well. The gentleman you were with seemed I might say a bounder might be the word we'd use in England, but certainly not a gentleman.
Make me a charm check.
Oh, I better be good at this. No, I'm not.
Or persuade, whichever one you're best at. Oh, never mind.
Oh, evidently I'm
you're not good at that. You're brilliant at this. Wow, all the good rolls tonight. She breaks out crying. Like she breaks down in tears.
I shall remove a handkerchief, a woman's handkerchief. I don't know if there's and sort of moving closer and offer the handkerchief, and
she slumps down against the wall of the carriage and like slides down to the floor.
Madame, what is the matter? And I'll sit next to her on the floor.
It's my husband. My husband Scott. She was fine in Paris, but then she met that man, that Maincaf. He said he was a spiritual healer, but her husband, he was he's not been the same ever since Maincaf made him wear that thing.
I see. What's her accent?
I think she's American. Yeah, American.
Make him wear a hat. Is it a hat like this? And I'll point to my own fez.
And she like recalls a bit at it, but then when she sees it's like a different colour, because yes, like that, exactly like you saw the hat he's wearing in the dining car, exactly like that.
And what is that gentleman's name?
He said his name was Leeds, Mr. Leeds.
Mr. Leeds.
That's how he introduced us, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't like him. What he's done to my poor husband.
Why did you board this train with him?
He promised he make my husband better. He promised to be able to heal my husband, to be able for him to recover. Scott went along with it. I can't leave my husband behind.
No, but I'm worried you and your husband are in terrible danger. A member of my party is a doctor. I shall not say it's not a doctor of medicine, but his doctor. Perhaps if you could show me where your husband is, I could have a look and then speak to my companion. And
of course, he's right in here. And she opens up the cabin, and you see lying on the bed on the lower bunk. You see a young man, early 20s, and he has the fez on his head, and he's like writhing a bit, groaning a bit. This is my husband, Scott.
And what is your name?
My name is Elizabeth, but my friends call me Ellie.
Ellie. I'm Amelia Metacraft. My friends call me Amelia, as is such my name. And yes, your husband is in terrible danger. Have you tried to remove the hat?
The Leeds told me not to remove it. He said it was important for his healing.
Yes, it's hard to get into right now, but I believe if we were to move that, your husband could even die. But it is also, I'll be frank, killing him.
He just like cries again, head in hands, crying again.
No, you're American. Can't let these Europeans, got to be strong. But you are in terrible danger. And I'll sort of look to her husband. Is he lucid? Can he talk to us?
Sometimes, sometimes it's only a couple of hours. Last night he's able to talk, but he seems to be in terrible pain, and most of the times Leeds just stays with him. I don't know what he does to him, but he seems to be okay shortly afterwards. But I don't know. I just want my husband back. I just want to go home.
Boss, the other man who's with Mr. Leeds, I know him by the name Mencap. Who was that? Is that a servant, bodyguard?
Yes, he said his name is Kapok. He never leaves his side.
Okay. I don't suppose your husband could stand.
He said no. As soon as he got on the train, he just collapsed into bed, and he hasn't really moved since. It got worse last night. He was groaning. Must have been about when we stopped at Strasbourg. It seemed to be worse. He was groaning.
Well, Ellie, we are going to move your husband into my berth, carriage, place where I sleep, just so he's in a more secure situation. And remember that those men you are with have no authority over you. You are this man's wife. You would be the one considered in charge of the situation. We can speak to Henri, the conductor. I have to talk to him about the situation in the salon. This is more important, what you've got going on, but I need to speak to him anyway. And I'm sure he would be able to help us, as would my companions. One of my friends is an officer in the army. Another one's do you know what a cockney is? They tend to be good in a fight.
I've heard of them.
Yes, from London, but the bad parts. And I assure you we will be able to help. But yes, first I think we should move your husband just so he's not where this Mr. Leeds. So he's not where he thinks he is.
Okay. Make me a luck roll.
Yeah. I'm assuming Ellie is like 6'5" and like incredibly strong and look.
By chance, at this moment, Henri is walking past.
Henri, we have
oui, monsieur, oui, madame, Henri is here. How can I help?
Henri, in the event of a crime happening on board, what would happen?
Ah, monsieur, that is a most...
Madame.
Madame. It is early in the morning, madame. My...
It's okay.
In the event of an allegation, the suspect would be confined to their cabin until we reach the next destination, at which point we would be contacting we would turn them off the train and over to the authorities. We do not like the police on the train. It is somewhat messy, if I can say that, but we would certainly be confining the suspects to their cabin or to an unused cabin until such time as we can turn them over to the proper authorities.
My companion here was just telling me of my troubles, and it sounds very much like her husband, and by extension her, have been kidnapped by a man going by the name of Mr. Leeds or Mr. Mencat. That's right, isn't it, Ellie? And I'll turn to her.
Oh, yes, yes. She's a bit nervous. Yeah, yes, that's absolutely right. And he says, yes, I know who you refer to, sir, and although it is not my place to say, I also have my reservations about him. I cannot confine him to his quarters indefinitely, but what would you like me to do?
Well, first of all, I would like to make sure he is kept away from Ellie and her husband. Keep him certainly safe from these people. And yes, I would say alert the authorities. Perhaps if we could come up with some excuse for the time being to keep them in the dining car until we can reach somewhere where it could be helped. Because I just worry, about a confrontation when we don't have, I am after all, a weak woman who certainly does not have revolvers or anything like that.
Madame, I did not believe that for a moment, but okay.
So just maybe if we could tell him a story to keep him away from Ellie and her husband, and we could then have him, have the police deal with the situation at the next stop.
Of course, monsieur, madame. Speaking of which, what are the rest of you doing? Are the rest of you still in the dining car eating your breakfast? So I'm aware where people are. Your breakfast?
Yes, I'm still there for the time being.
I was going to say I'd still be tucking away.
Cool. Of course, madame, I shall see what I can do. In the meantime, is there anything else you'd like me to help with?
Yes. This is to the keeper. Does he have his clipboard with him?
He does.
Right. Henri, yes, I would like to make a sort of formal, I don't want to use the word complaint, but suggestion. I have a piece of paper and a pen here.
Sorry.
Could I just... sorry.
No, carry on. Sorry, carry on.
Could I just borrow your clipboard while I make a note? Just I need a hard surface to rest on.
Oh, monsieur, and he hands you the clipboard.
Yeah. And I'm going to try and scan the passenger list.
Yeah. And
see who's in what, what room.
That's absolutely fine. I don't think there's any reason this would be useful public information. So, In cabin 1, there is Captain Barrington and Professor Worth. In cabin 2 is Dr. Polat and George Banks. In cabin 3 is yourself. Cabin 4, Eileen McGregor and Carla Minkoff. Cabin 5, Kapok and Egorov. Cabin 6, Ellie Myers and Scott Myers. Cabin 7, I'm going to actually show these on see who what. So Carla Minkoff, Eileen McGregor, Egorov, Kapok. Cabin 6, Scott Myers, Ellie Myers. Cabin 7, Hieronymus Menkaff. Cabin 8, Count Rudolf Razumovsky. Cabin 9, Countess Irina Razumovsky. Cabin 10, Kota Trubusky.
I'll make a little note saying about how there should be 24-hour table service in the salon. Because I'm not in a pub in Reading. It's Orient Express. But I will say, please deal with the kidnapping crime issues before you act on the bar suggestions.
Eddie says, Miss Amelia said we could move my husband to your cabin. Henri, could you help us with that? And Henri says, oh, it is a bit irregular, monsieur, mesdames, who is inside the cabin, mesdames, but I think under the circumstances, I think that is something I can help you with. Really put Henri green, but I don't think I have. Hang on a minute, let me just find a got that, will do. So that's Henri. So if you would like me to assist with moving your husband, I would be happy to do so.
You don't suppose you have a stretcher or anything, do you?
I think it would do actually. Yeah, he will go off for a few minutes and come back with a stretcher or something like able to help with moving him.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll.
And Ellie opens the door and steps into the room. Henri will follow behind. Amelia, you stepping into the room?
Yeah.
And you see Scott Myers lying on the bed, the fez on his head, and he's writhing. Ellie says, "Oh, it's gotten worse. Please, is there anything you can do to help him now?"
There will be, yes. If you two could stay here just to keep Mr. Myers safe, I will speak to my companions, and I think there's something we can do.
Okay. So Amelia returns to the breakfast car and informs the rest of you that Scott Myers has a fez on his head and is in trouble, and his wife and Henri are going to move him to your cabin, and he'd like you to come with him to provide support. Is that right?
Yes, I'm going to stay in the dining room just so I can keep an eye on Menkav.
Okay, I'm going to put you back to the DM layer. And we're going to pretend I'm going to use these four because pretend they've been there all the time. So the four of you, the four Harry Worth, Barrington, George Banks, and Cassie Polat. You arrive at the cabin, and you enter, and you see it's going to be a tight squeeze. I think only two of you can get in at the time. Dr. Polat and who would like to be in the cabin? I can only put two of you in.
I'll take the cabin.
You want to be in the cabin to help? Okay, and one more person. Cool.
I suppose it's going to be using the book, isn't it, to reduce the effect for 24 hours. So I suppose the two might be able to use that.
You got it. So you do. So you're all aware, and I think you'd have told Dr. Kasim this as well. you are all aware of a short spell to be able to reduce the effects for 24 hours. Would anybody like to give it a go?
Barrington would go over to his room and pick up the fez that he'd picked up as well and bring it back.
Okay. So would anybody like to have a go at helping this man? There it is. Anybody want to try? Gonna do magic. Yeah. Yeah. Ooh, gonna do magic in a Call of Cthulhu game. So, Dr. Polat, you approach Scott Myers, and according to the instructions in the ritual, you rest your finger lightly on the fez. Can you roll me? First of all, can you make me a con roll, please? A Constitution roll.
Where do I find that?
That's at the top of the sheet.
Yeah. Okay. I'll put that.
You feel a bit nauseous from the fez, but you managed to keep it down. Now, can you roll me 1d6?
1d6, yeah.
1d6. 5. You lose 5 magic points. You feel like something gets sucked out of you. Deal with that.
Oh, excellent.
So I'll just take 5 magic points off your character. So magic points come back 1 every hour, so that's not a problem. So, and you recite the mantra that you were instructed to by the others for a minute. And this actually reduces your power score, not just your magic points. This reduces your power by 5. Cast this. And unlike magic points, power does not come back. So I just does reduce your maximum. Now this is the first time you've cast this. Can you make me a power roll? And I need a hard success. Your power is set, so make me a power roll, and I need a hard success.
Me? Yeah.
Yes, as you're casting this. This is the first time you've cast a spell. You need to make a power roll, and I need a hard success from it.
Failure.
Ooh. Try and cast it, but it doesn't seem to work. Would you like to try and cast it again?
Sure.
That will drain another 5 magic points from your character. So let me just do that first. Go. So you concentrate harder. You recite the mantra again. Make me another power roll.
Failure.
Oh dear.
Oh. Right, roll me another d6, please.
1d6.
1d6.
Yeah.
That's a d8.
Sorry.
That's
Sorry,
a d8.
yeah. No.
That's a bad roll for a D. Oh, a very good roll for a D.
Nah.
You feel it like latch onto, like you feel like something latch onto you through your hand, and it pulls out another 5 points of power from you. And at the same time, you hear disembodied screaming in your head. I need you to make me a sanity roll, please. Just get off that. You make me a sanity roll, please. Yep.
Where's that found?
That's where you got hit points, magic points, and you got a sanity at the top of the screen.
Okay. Well, it's a bottom actually, but
yeah, that's fair. Make me roll me 1d4. You lose 1 point of sanity.
There you go.
You lose 1 point of sanity from this disembodied screaming in your head.
One. Okay.
Sorry, just if you go into your character token, it's the figure in blue, the number in blue on your character token.
Okay.
Okay, so the good news.
Yep.
There is much good news. The good news is you have it counts as having cast the spell, so you no longer need to make that power roll next time. You just pay the cost of the spell and it works. The other good news is that even though you feel like something has been really sucked from you, you feel like weary, you feel a bit disoriented from the voices. Scott Myers does seem to calm down and stops thrashing about on the bed. And he just like calms down into a peaceful sleep.
I'm glad that worked, because if it didn't, our credibility would have been shot. If we were like, touch his hat and do a spell, and it'll make him better. And if it hadn't worked,
and so Scott Myers will not be affected by the Fez for 24 hours. Ellie and Henri look at him in kind of astonishment as what you've done, and they obviously don't know really that you used magic, but Ellie says, "Oh, I don't know what you did, but thank you very much, so much. He's resting now, at least. I think this is. Can we move him?" Says to Henri and George Banks, and between you both, you move Scott Myers onto a stretcher. As you do so, George, make me a spot hidden.
Okay. No, I'm not playing Nancy Sutherland.
that's not even the right time period.
Do you want to lock that or push it?
Yeah.
You're gonna use luck. You're gonna use luck for that.
Yeah. Hold on. Yeah, gonna use luck.
Okay, 20 points of luck to make that into a pass.
Oh. Okay then.
You can push it if you'd rather not use the luck.
Push it.
If you push it, you keep the luck, but the consequences for a failure are a bit more severe.
I'm gonna use luck. I don't want to avoid severities for now.
Okay.
Yes.
So as you move Scott Myers onto the stretcher, George, his pillow seems quite hard, and you spent a night on this train. You know these pillows are soft and luxurious, but his pillow seems quite hard and solid. Like there's something inside it.
Hello. What's all this then?
You pick up the pillow, you pull the cover off.
Harder than a Whitechapel tombstone.
You pull it off, you pull off the cover, and it's a book. And emblazoned on the book in writing, The Whispering Fez. And at that point, Ellie's kind of like gasps and points to the wall, and there are 5 of you in the cabin, but there are 6 shadows. And one of the shadows like rises up and plunges the entire room into darkness. We're going to go to a turn order. Can you please tell me your dexterity? Can Dr. Polat and George Banks and everybody else, please tell me your dexterity scores.
75.
75 for George.
Sorry, didn't mean to do that.
It's a good jump, though.
Yeah.
Barrington just jumps up and down outside.
I think he's jumped through the roof of the train and he's away.
Dr. Polat, your dexterity is 50.
Mine's 60.
That's the worthless. Barrington?
50, I believe.
50. I'm going to throw in Henri as well.
I think everyone's going to die apart from Amelia.
Amelia's not there.
No, I'm saying yeah, she'll be fine, and everyone else will die.
Henri is at 80. Okay. And what's for Maya's up? He screams as and Ellie screams as the room is plunged into darkness. So first of all, I would like Dr. Polat and George Banks to make me sanity rolls.
Oh joy. Oh good.
They're not going to face a Cockney. Cockneys are saying much worse than this.
Dr. Polat. Polat gets hard success, so it's 1 point for a success for both of you. So you just need to reduce your sanity by 1. And wow. Ellie screams and faints dead away, and the room is in darkness. George. Cockney. Got here. You feel something slash at you out of the darkness. And take 4.4 points of. Actually, no. You can either make me a dodge roll, please, George.
Damn it.
I would say use luck on it, but the creature got a 7 on its score, so it got an extreme success. So you take 4 points of damage. You feel this thing slash across you. They pulled Henri. He cries out, "Monsieur, the lights! Get the lights! Get the windows open!" And he rushes to the window. He rushes to the lights and feverishly tries to get them open. Get the windows open! George, what would you like to do? The room is in darkness and you can't see what hit you, but Henri is saying, "Get the windows open. Get the lights on."
I'm not sure. What exactly can I do in this situation?
You can run to the window and try to open it.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay. It's an easy. You know what it's like. It's a blind that goes up. It shoots up. Sunlight streams through, and and you hear this like cross between a scream and a hiss. As this shadow, which is now in the center of the room, takes takes 1 point of damage. Yeah, it sounds like that. No, it doesn't sound like that. And okay, Ellie has fainted. Professor Worth, you're outside. You hear the sounds of a kerfuffle coming from inside. The sounds of commotion coming from inside the room.
Can I open the door?
You can open the door.
So if I open the door and look in, do I recognise whatever this creature is?
It's black mass. It's like a shadow, like in the centre of the room. I actually do have a picture of this as well. A picture from the book. Kind of like this is what your face. This is what you're seeing. And as you look at it, Professor Worth, can you also make me a sanity roll?
Oh.
Oh dear. Roll me 1d6. Roll me a 1d6. And lose that much sanity. Let's roll 1d6.
Ooh.
Lose 6 sanity and make me an intelligence roll. Alright, make me an intelligence roll. You lose your 6 sanity and make me an intelligence roll.
Thanks. Intelligence.
That's good. That's good. Your mind just like disconnects what you're seeing from what you want to do. So it's like you don't go insane from this. It's like your mind just like compartmentalizes it. It's just like, no, okay, Shadow, deal with that later. Do this now. So you open the door, and because you're right near a window, sunlight streams through, and the creature screams again, and this time it takes damage. Why do I keep closing these sheets after I use them? I should do that. It's 1d6. No, it is 5. That's absolutely fine. And you see it shrink away from the light, because it's got light coming in from the window at the top of the carriage, and light coming in from the window opposite the carriage, opposite the cabin. So. Feel it hissing and start to shrink away. Captain Bart, your turn, Barrington.
I'm going to run over to see what the commotion is.
Are you going to look in? Are you going to look in
straight into the rooms?
You're going to run straight into the room. Sanity roll, please.
Yeah. Sanity.
Amelia's just enjoying her tea in the breakfast car, not knowing anything that's going on.
Champagne. She's doing the champagne now.
Oh no, that's the wrong character. Sorry.
You succeed. You still succeed. You lose 1 point of sanity for that. Success is 1 point of sanity. And what would you like to do now?
Seeing this creature, he's going to immediately pull his sword out and try and stab it.
Okay, make me a fighting roll with your sword.
So I just click the saber, do I?
Click the saber, yeah. Yep. Yes. This creature fights back and wins with a hard success, which beats your success. So you can take 3 points of damage.
Okay. Where's my health? Wait, 3 points was that?
Yes, 3 points.
Okay. I'm gonna shout, "Get the girl out of here!" Tell you who's fainted.
Dr. Polat hasn't got anything to fight with. I'm going to say Dr. Polat runs outside the room and tries to catch his breath a bit. And the shadow spawn, you see it light streaming from either side, and just like shrinks away back into Scott Myers. Appears. That we are out of turn order. Henry is just like panting. Henry is just panting. He's never seen anything like that. Ellie Myers is just like starting to come round. What are the rest of you doing?
George is just looking out the window like, what the hell did I just see?
I think Barrington would be kind of checking if Ellie's okay.
Okay.
And bring her around kind of thing.
What was that? I don't know. Did I see that? Was like that wasn't real, was it?
I'm afraid it was.
Oh. Oh. Can we get my husband out of here, please?
Of course. And Barrington's going to try and pick up Scott.
There is a stretcher.
We have a stretcher in the room.
I'll move him on to the stretcher.
Yeah.
Okay, and where would you like him to? So you move him out of the room. Where would you like him to be? I'm
going to say we'll take him to the plan was Amelia's room, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So we'll take him there.
Okay. That would have not taken very long. Amelia, in the breakfast cabin, Mencaf is just like enjoying his breakfast. He doesn't know he doesn't know anything that's happened. But you get the feeling that he's coming to the end of his meal and he'll shortly be leaving the cabin, leaving the car to go back to his cabin.
Is Eileen still talking to him? Or she had to, as she ran out of questions?
I forgot that. Yeah, you can see Eileen is starting to run out of steam as well.
Oh.
And he's like, it's been very nice chatting with you, my dear, but I really must go. I have things to attend to. And Eileen's just like busy going.
As he gets up, I will get up as well, and basically I want to try and bump into him quite firmly.
Okay, he is startled by this. Excuse me, madam.
I'm gonna say, "How dare you!" and slap him.
He just like, oh, damn, please. I don't know what you think you're doing, but he like tries to retain whatever dignity he can as he and Kapok leave the cabin.
I'm going to really chase after him and basically grab the back of him and just be like, "How dare you treat an Englishman like this?" And then I'm going to start crying. And I'm going to demand the waiters do something, and
oh boy.
I want to sort of swoon. I know that's a good thing, but faint onto Mencap to just try and make it as difficult as possible
for him
to move.
Oh dear. Yep. So Mencap is just he's trying to get away, but people are around him, surrounding him. There's a lot of commotion happening. The rest of you transfer Scott Myers back to your room, and you are now in possession of the Whispering Fez. You look at the book. You see that the bulk of it is in a language that some of you recognise as Persian. I know one or two of you can speak Persian. But the last few pages of the book, you can't make head nor tail of it. It's hieroglyphs, pictograms, similar to what you see on the fez that Scott was wearing and is still wearing. Not something that you can really be able to translate, but given time, you should be able to translate the Persian section. And so, train thunders on. Due to arrive at Vienna at 5:50, where you will meet your ally, Baron von Hoffler. And with that, I think we shall draw this session to a close. We'll go around the room again. Brian, what was your favourite moment of the evening?
The shadow.
Shadow, that was great, yep. Richard?
Playing the harpsichord and discussing the Crimean War over Russian. Well, that was fun.
That was great. Robin?
Probably all the antics that Amelia keeps getting herself into. Maya will certainly be learning from these.
Yeah, Maya is reading this intently. She's like, no, making notes and underlining sections to go back and reread. Sarah?
I've enjoyed my first experience of combat and managing it, I think. I was quite anxious about that, and actually it's been absolutely fine.
And your first hit with sanity as well.
And my first hit with sanity, yeah, absolutely.
Yep. So with that, the journey to Constantinople in 1893 will continue next time.